If you're just learning how to wire wrap, here's one of the best things you can do. Put down the beads, put down the shiny crystals and the shiny treasures that you found, and just play with the wire. By first learning how your wire behaves, you will become a better wire wrapper. So I'm going to quickly go over some different things you can play with yourself, as well as just showing you some general handling tips of how to treat your wire. So to start, I'm using copper wire for this demo. It is the wire I highly recommend the most for beginners to use, as it is generally the most budget friendly, but it is also the most forgiving for using. When you bend it a few times, it doesn't break quite as easily. So it is the best wire that I personally choose for when you're first starting out. But keep in mind when you're watching this video, if you are using a different metal type, that the wire will behave differently than it might be for me. So one thing that I frequently do is just smooth out my wire. So this spool hasn't been opened, but frequently if I have an open spool, I will grab my wire further up and just grab it with my thumb and my index finger, and I just pull it and pull the wire. And that will smooth out any lumps and bumps that you have in there. So a lot of times if I'm just starting out, say if I'm going to make a bail at the top end of this wire, I'm just going to smooth it out once or twice, and then I'll go ahead and begin. So that just helps get any kind of little funky bits that have gotten in there from when you were working before. So now let's say you got a nice little kink in it, you know, you tried your smoothing, but you can still kind of see and feel that little kink. So one way that you can get rid of some of these kinks, obviously, is just to take your flat nose and just generally squish it. But something to keep in mind is that a lot of times it'll still potentially be there. So if you do have a kink, a lot of times you almost need to just ever so slightly bend it back the opposite way, just to kind of equalize that motion to be able to bring it back to center. So if you're trying to get rid of kind of a nasty kink, bend it the opposite way and then bend it back, and then give it that little smooth. Keep in mind though, as you're doing it, that the wire can only take so much before it has its breaking point. So I was kind of working right here, but if I had that one break, I can usually generally fix a point once when it's had a reasonable bend in it. More than that, I will cut my wire and start over, because that is now a weak point. So if I go into this area and have another mistake and try again and undo it, and try again and undo it, and try again and undo it, you will break your wire. And even if you don't break it while you're doing it, you are now making a piece of jewelry that potentially has a compromised spot. And you don't want to be giving away or selling a piece of jewelry that could break for a customer in the future. So as I said, if you have one spot that's been kind of bent once or twice and you got further mistakes, cut it off and start again. If you get a very severe bend, so like even this, I probably could open it up once and carry on and it would be okay. But if you ever bend it and actually physically pinch the wire down, so you have a full turnaround bend like that, you're not recovering from this. So if you've pinched it that tight and you want to undo it, it's a bad idea. The wire will break. Let's now cover some general shaping tips. So if I want to make another little like coil for a decoration, this is a great way to finish your wire. So say if this is now on the end of our piece and we have this little pointy wire and we don't want this sticking up, sometimes it's hard to tuck it away somewhere and put it away. So a good way that I like to end a wire if you have it sitting there is just with a little coil. So I'll grab a pair of round nose pliers. I'm going to grab on right on the tip as best I can, and I'm going to make the tiniest little circle there. So I'll get a half circle, and then I'm usually going to go grab with my flat nose pliers, and I'm going to pinch it in a little tighter. So you're just going to give it a little tighten so you get just a tiny little circle. And now we're going to continue to wrap this around. So I'm going to grab the inside of my flat nose pliers just right on the tip, and I'm going to try and turn it in and make a circle. So you're going to kind of watch that line as you're going to see. So you can do a really tight coil where it's physically touching. This is probably the easiest one to start because you're not trying to worry about the shape too much, because the shape will just simply follow the coil of the wire that it's touching on the inside. So this is a good one to practice to start. Only do this if you have a tool that has a flat inside, or get yourself some nylon pliers. I personally do just fine still with my metal tool. I don't use nylon, but if you're worried about marring up and mucking up your wire, you can get nylon. Just make sure you don't have teeth on the inside of your tool because that will leave way too many lines. So you're just pinching and turning, like not even a quarter turn. You're just doing tiny turns at once. Don't try and go like tons because you're just going to make funny spots. So this is a great way to finish off a chunk of wire when you have it on a piece of jewelry. Okay, so another one is an open spiral. So now we're looking to try to leave our spiral open and curling as opposed to touching the wire that is on the inside. So the best way to do this is to kind of curl and pull open just a hair. So you're going to kind of curve it. So you can see how it kind of touches into that last one, and then you kind of open up again. So you're going to curve a little and open. So you have to kind of keep doing that motion of readjusting it as you go, curl and open. And so as you're going, if it's getting too loose, you can always pinch it down. If it's too tight, you can pull it back out. So you want to kind of do those adjustments as you go to get that nice little coil. And so as you're doing it, you're always trying to pinch the whole thing. So kind of curve it in. So this now you're going to try and curve a little bit more. So sometimes my wire does come a little bit further in. But then always, every time you're kind of adjusting it as you go. And I'm actually trying to curve essentially this whole thing. So this whole wire, you can see I'm bending it from more way up here, and I'm curling that whole thing and then adjusting it, pulling it in and out, and shaping it as I go. So as your coil gets bigger, you can then switch to doing this part with your hands. And you're essentially, your thumb and your index finger are going to do the same thing that your pliers were doing, is you're just pinching the whole thing and then just gently leading the wire around. So this is a great practice for you to get a feel for the wire, to understand how it moves and how it bends. So as you're doing it, a lot of times, you know, you're going to get mistakes, you're going to get spots that are going to sit funny, and just keep going to see how big of a spiral you can get, to see how nice you can get it. This is going to give you great practice for making other shapes or other designs when you're working on a piece. So just sitting down and just making some spirals is perfect practice. So you can see how slow I'm going. I'm just kind of bending it as I go. I'm using both now my thumb and my index finger here as well to kind of, I'm almost using my index finger right here to kind of help curve the wire a little bit. The only thing is then I have to correct it because it's trying to create like a stretch spring this way. So then you just have to bend it back the other way and just keep going. Okay, so one last thing that is good for you to practice is just kind of doing some looping edges. So instead of just a direct curl. So this is another favorite of mine to do directly on a piece, is to just curve one side, and then we're just going to kind of go back and forth. So when we're doing this, I'm actually usually going kind of past this curl that I made. So you can see how it comes up and over. And then when I come to go back again, you can see how then it left it where it's almost touching the previous one. So then I'm going to curve it so it's that full teardrop shape and it's coming back up the way I want. And then I'll reverse it to go back the other way. So this is another great practice, is kind of like a ribbon going back and forth. You can do some different curls. So you can do just one of these little circles. So you can see how I kind of stop there. You can always adjust things as you go. So maybe you hold on to an edge with a tool and just tighten up that circle a little bit. If you're struggling with having this pointed part here, you have to just keep playing with it. So just touching that down. You see how I rounded out that circle more? Maybe I didn't want that circle quite so tight. Then you can open it back up again. Now that I kind of straightened out that point, I can open up that circle a bit more and try to keep curving it. So now I got one cute little circle there. Maybe I want another little circle here, so I reversed it and I'm going the other way. So just continuing to pinch, you can kind of gently pull. So everything in these motions is very gentle. You never want to go like abrupt and quick. That's when you kind of rush it. You're going to get kind of weird shapes to it. Everything is almost meditative when you're working with wire. Go slow, let the wire feel between your fingers. Don't rush the process. And with practice, then you can transition these curls and swirls directly onto your pieces. Thanks for watching. My name's Tegan. I own Jacob's Trading Yield Rock Shop. We are a small mother-daughter owned company. If you like this video, be sure to hit like and subscribe. I'm always posting new content, so you can watch out for those new videos and tutorials. If you're also looking for supplies, I do have a website called yieldrockshop.com where we sell all of the different things that you would need for learning how to wire wrap. And yeah, thanks for your support.